Fox 8 First Alert Weather, your weather authority. Now, your Weather Authority forecast from meteorologist Amber Wheeler.
Well, nice and sunny and dry over the last few days and really even today and tomorrow, but we're already looking ahead at the next big change, and that's going to happen this weekend. We do have a rise in humidity until then with a weak cold front moving through, and that's going to bring our storm chances back in the mix. Right now, clear skies, 84. We're already running above average here. Dew points in the low 60s. Winds out of the northeast and some out of the east around 5 to 10. So just a really nice afternoon. Now, lows this morning, they were really nice. We had some mid to upper 50s on the north shore, some 50s inland on the south shore. Of course, we always run a little warmer in the city, but over the next few mornings, we're actually going to add a few degrees because we're going to have a little more humidity. It's not going to be a real humid day tomorrow, but it's going to increase our temperatures in the morning by just a few degrees. Same story on Friday, and then we'll have a cold front move through over the weekend. That drops our overnight lows again. But the temperatures in the afternoon have been very warm. Now, we're not breaking records, but we are well above average. 86, some of us hitting upper 80s for today. The record was set back in 2019 at 91, but the average high right now is about 81 degrees. So certainly running with a little bit of a fever here when you look at data wise. But in terms of the feel in the air, not too bad. Dew points in the low 60s. So I mean, of course, that's feeling a little humid. You can feel it out there, but it's not real sticky. The dew points typically fall in the afternoon, so we still have a pleasant afternoon to go. But you'll see a difference. You'll feel a difference in the air as we get a little bit more of an influence from the water, easterly and southerly coming in from the Gulf, and that's just going to spell more humidity Friday and into Saturday. There's that cold front that's going to arrive late on Saturday and give us some storm chances. Now, we know that all cold fronts are not the same. We get weak, moderate, and strong. And while a lot of folks want that strong one, this is going to be a weak cold front. So it's going to give us the slight temperature drops, really down to average, a little bit of dry air. The moderates typically give us a larger drop to below average. We're not going to get that, and we're not going to get that cold Canadian air that I know so many of you are craving right now, and here's why. So here's our ridge of high pressure that we're under. There's the trough of low pressure that's going to bring us that cold front. Because it's coming out of the Pacific, it's going to have much milder air when it arrives and gives us a slight drop in our temperatures. If it was coming out of Canada, it could give us some cooler temperatures, but that's just not the case here. This ridge of high pressure moves to our east and helps give us a return flow towards the end of the week. That is going to bring us that higher humidity, and once we get into Saturday, continuing that onshore flow, we're going to watch for some storms that could pop up in the afternoon on Saturday. Most of them should be off towards the west with the cold front, but we certainly could see something isolated in the afternoon, and then we'll follow that cold front as it moves through late on Saturday, probably around midnight on Sunday. Now, this is, of course, several days out. Sometimes the timing can be a few hours off, and sometimes it actually comes a little earlier than the models say. So I'll be following these on Saturday night, and most of the severe weather wants to stay to our north, but we do have the ingredients into play where a few of those storms could become strong to severe. It's a low-end chance, but it's something that will follow. Behind that, more heat or more warming and dry air. The Storm Prediction Center has given the severe weather risk to our north on Saturday, but again, we're going to be watching down towards the south here. I think we might be put in a low-end marginal risk from the SPC as we get a little closer. But notice that that front is not going to be a dramatic one. It just falls to around normal, 80 degrees on Monday. We start to see some warming again behind that, back to those mid-80s. A quick update on the tropics. This is Lorenzo, barely struggling. We do expect this one to probably drop off the NHC map later today. Another area that we're watching is a wave that's just moved off the coast of Africa. It's in the eastern Atlantic. The model's kind of picking up on this one, kind of liking it a bit. There's a lot of time to watch this. This is heading into the weekend as it heads for the eastern Caribbean. And once it gets into the Caribbean, the model's really picking up on the possibility of some development here. And it's actually the strongest signal we've seen for the Caribbean all season. Notice that we're going to still continue to see cold fronts, so we'll probably be protected, but we always watch those Caribbean storms this time of year regardless. But the Climate Prediction Center giving this area a highlighted risk, so a chance for that development towards the end of October. So a lot of time to watch this one. We probably won't be talking about it, maybe developing until we get towards next week. In terms of something that we can follow, Here's your forecast for the next week. Temperatures, again, well above average into the upper 80s. We'll head into the weekend with that weak front moving through. It does give us a brief reprieve from the higher temperatures and back to normal, which we haven't felt normal in quite some time. But once we get towards Tuesday, the temperatures, they're back at it, warming back up to the mid 80s. But I do think we'll keep the dry air for a little bit. That'll be nice.
So Saturday is just a one day you want people to keep an eye out for.
Keep an eye out. We're going with 40% chance, so it's not a resounding chance. It's not a guarantee that you'll see storms, but they are going to be scattered. If you've got plans outside, keep an eye on the Fox 8 weather app, and we'll let you know if anything becomes severe near you.
Somebody may get it and somebody won't.
It'll be one of those hit and miss days.
Yes. Thank you.